Well. Chapter 4 review. Good old slope-intercept stuff. Answers on the back as usual. Let's get started. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering why my hand looks like this, you get zero explanation. And if you're not a student of mine and you're watching this video for the first time, welcome. Find the slope of the line. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put two dots where I know dots can be. So that guy and that guy. I have a slope going down and to the right. So the slope is going to be negative. It looks like that I'm going down 1. And I'm going over 1, 2, 3, 4. So the slope is negative 1 over 4, which gives me A. Cool. Find the slope again, but this time I don't have a graph. So I'm going to use the old tried and true slope formula. This is a 5-step process. Right now all I'm doing is just writing out my points. Step 1, label the points. X sub 1, y sub 1. X sub 2, y sub 2. Step 2, write out the slope formula. M equals y sub 1 minus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Step 3, some people like to write this out this way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in the numbers to my parentheses. So I'm just writing it all out ahead of time. Y sub 2 is 1 minus y sub 1 is 7. X sub 2 is 10 minus x sub 1 is 1. Okay, that's step 3. Step 4 is subtract the top, subtract the bottom, then divide. Subtract the top gives me negative 6. Subtract the bottom gives me regular old 9. When I divide, I get negative 2/3. And so that would be my answer. If you're using a calculator, you might get negative 0.6 repeating, but if you're using the yellow calculators, which is what I prefer, if you hit math frac, it'll turn into negative 2/3, which is B. Problem 3, state whether the slope is 0 or undefined. If it's a vertical line, it's an undefined slope. If you're wondering why, you can just pick any 2 points. And up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over nothing. Anything divided by 0 is undefined. If it was a horizontal line, it would be 0. But, you know, if you just see the vertical line right away, say undefined. Do no more. Problem 4. Write the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line. I'm going to not use a calculator. There's a LinReg thing. You can find the video on that internet. That'll help you, but I don't need it. This is what I'm going to do. Slope-intercept form is given to me as y equals mx plus b. Y is always y. X is always x. M stands for the slope, the rise over run, just like we did in the first problem. B is the y-intercept. What the y-intercept is the moment on the line where it crosses my y-axis. So my slope in this case is up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my slope so far is m equals positive, because it's positive, 6 over 2. 6 over 2 simplifies to 3. So what I have so far is y equals, m is 3, so 3x, which eliminates u and eliminates u and eliminates u, but you know what, I like having a good time, let's keep going. Plus whatever b is. Again, b is my y-intercept. That's where my line crosses the y-axis. My line meets the y-axis right here at negative 1. So my b is negative 1. So normally I'd write out y equals 3x plus negative 1. I don't like that. I don't like plus negative. Just put minus 1. And that's why I end up with A. Or as the rappers would say, Problem 5. Problem 5 has me doing the same thing as problem 4 did. Write the equation in slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form once again is y equals mx plus b. M is my slope, my rise over run. B is my y-intercept, the moment that my line crosses the y-intercept. I got some more unpleasantness here, so I'm just going to pretend that this is not multiple choice and I'm going to go for it. My slope in this case is a negative slope because it goes up and to the left or down and to the right. Either way, it goes like that. It looks like if you're going left to right, you're going to walk down a hill. My slope is going to be down 1, 2, 3, so negative 3, over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My y-intercept is the moment that my line crosses the y-axis. It crosses it right there in between the origin and the 1, which makes my y-intercept a half, or 0.5. Since this is giving me everything in fraction form, I'm not going to put 0.5, I'm going to make it a half. So my equation is going to be y equals m is now 3 over 10, x plus b, which is a half, negative 3 over 10, x plus a half appears to be u. See? Yes, in Spanish. Problem 6, easily the hardest problem on the packet. So let's do it blindly. Let's pretend that it's not multiple choice and see what happens. I'm going to rewrite it down at the bottom, so what you don't see is me writing on the bottom, negative 7x plus 7y equals negative 49. Here I am. How do you do? I got to get y all by itself. Negative 7x is over here with the y, and regular 7 is over here with the y. First thing that I have to get rid of is the negative 7x. The way I do that is I add 7x to both sides, and that cancels out the negative 7x on the left. Now I have 7y, and these guys don't combine. I'm trying to make it look like this slope-intercept form. Remember, slope is m, b is the y-intercept. So I'm going to try to make that look as much like that as I can, which means I want the mx part first. So I'm going to put the positive 7x part first, and the b, which is positive negative 49 or minus 49 second. Y is still not all by itself. I have to divide everything by 7, divide everything by 7, divide everything by 7. Y is going to equal x minus 7. Now, if it makes you feel comfortable, blah, 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 blah. Oh, perfect.
At this time, all bus students who are now dismissed. All bus students and sports students who are now dismissed.
Okay, you hear that? Sports and buses. I'm going to sneak a 1 over 1 in front of x because my slope is 1 or 1 over 1. My slope is 1 over 1. My y-intercept is negative 7. So if I were to draw a rough graph of that, right? My y-intercept is where I graph first. So I'm going to go down to 7, put a dot there, go up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. And so you're going to have a line that basically goes like that. The only one of these that has a positive slope going through negative 7 is A. And so that's my answer. There's my negative 7. Goes by 2, so it's hard to see, and it goes up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. Fun! Okay, it is several days later. As you can see, I am cleaned of the gothicness that was the other day in the first 4 pages. We're on page 5 now, and we're trying to find the slope of a line. First off, slope is rise over run. You have to figure out if something is positive or negative. Positive is a line that goes like that. Negative is a line that goes like that. This is a line that goes like that because it goes up and to the right. So this is a positive slope, which means piece out C and piece out A. This goes up, rises 1, 2, 3, positive 4. This runs positive once, which means 4 divided by 1 is just 4. All right. Problem 8. Okay, there are two ways that you can do this. One that involves a yellow calculator and one that doesn't. I'm gonna go get a yellow calculator now. Okay, this one has dead batteries. This one's good. All right, here I am. All right, we're gonna get a yellow calculator. The process that you can use to find an equation in slope-intercept form is called LinReg. There's a video on the channel that does this with a fella named Peyton Manning. I'm going to do it right here. First button you hit is Stat. Then you go to Edit right away. You hit Enter on Edit. You type out your numbers. -2, Enter. That's a 4. Let's try that again. -2, Enter. Go right. 4, Enter. Go left. 3, Enter. Go right. 9, Enter. Okay? Then you quit out of it by doing second mode. That quits. Okay? Go to Stat again. Go to Calc. Go to LinReg. And so this is the equation y equals ax plus b, where a is 1 and b is 6. Okay, so if y equals ax plus b, a is 1, b is 6, you're going to have y equals 1x plus 6. You don't need that 1 there, so y equals x plus 6. Oh, hello. Done, 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 done. All right, find the slope of the... find the slope of the y-intercept of the graph of the linear equation. Y equals -2x plus 6. Slope-intercept form looks like this. That's my slope. That's my y-intercept. In other words, if y is all by itself, the number in front of x is my slope, and when y is all by itself, the number floating around is the y-intercept. Oh, look, y is all by itself. Oh, look, the number in front of x is -2. Oh, look, the slope is -2. Not you, and not you, and not you. The number that's floating around by itself is 6 in this case. As the Fonz would say, Problem 10, same exact question. When y is all by itself, the slope... Oh my goodness, y is not all by itself. So I have to get y all by itself. Let me rewrite the original problem right here. In order to get y all by itself, I have to get rid of 2x by subtracting 2x from both sides. Okay, what drops down on the left is -2y. These two don't combine because one has an x, the other one doesn't. If you're going to keep it in slope-intercept form, the guy with the x comes first, so -2x plus 18. Y is still not alone. Divide everything by -2, -2, -2, cross it out. Y over, we'll say, look at this here. If you're going to cross out -2 over 2, shouldn't you cross out -2 over -2, I mean? So you're going to get y equals x plus -9. Or, in this case, since I want slope and y-intercept, y equals 1x minus 9 or plus -9. So my slope is 1, my y-intercept is -9. There you have it. All right. A line passes through the point 1, 3 and has a slope of 2. So if a line passes through 1, 3 and has a slope of 2, the best way to do this is write out what we have so far. Y equals slope x plus b. Now, what I need to do is I need to find a point that also lives on whatever line this is. So I need to find out what line this is in order to make it work. If it has a slope of 2, okay, and it goes through the point 1, 3, I can label this guy an X and I can label that guy a Y. Because that's an X and that's a Y. So I'm going to replace Y with 3. I'm going to replace 2 with, we'll keep it 2. And now I'm going to replace X with 1 plus B. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. And I'm going to add B. Subtract 2, cross it out, 1 equals B. So the actual equation after I combine that guy with that guy is Y equals 2X plus 1, because B is 1. So, hello, Y equals 2X, that's my X, plus 1. If you go to the table, second graph, let's see what line falls on this one. Is it 1, 5, 1, 3? No. Is it 2, 6? Let me see. 2 matches up with 5. No. Is it 3, 5? No. 3 matches up with 7. Oh, 3 matches up with 7. Cool. Hi, Carla. Carla plotted points on the graph below to show the amount she owes for tuition. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so here we have an equation. Not an equation, graph. She owes what looks like $4,000. So she owes $4,000. And over time, every payment she makes, it goes down just a little bit. So she makes one payment, and now she owes a little over $3,000. And she makes another payment, and now she's a little above $2,000. She makes another payment, and now she is at $2,000. So it looks like after 3 payments, she still owes $2,000. So I'm just writing stuff down. And after 6 payments, she's good. She's done. How do I know that? Because 6, she owes nothing. 6 payment, nothing. So over 6 payments, she pays off $4,000, which is about, I don't know, $4,000 per payment. 4,000 divided by 6. Ooh, that's a number I don't want to look at again. So each payment decreases by $4,000. No. Can you imagine making payments of $4,000 for college? That's why we have to vote for, forget it. Each payment decreases the amount owed by 66 cents. That would be the best moment. Every 3 payments, the amount decreases by 2,000. Oh, that's it. Every 2 payments, 3,000. Now that's just backwardsy. All right, cool. Page 6, done. All right, problem 13. I'm going to do this 2 different ways. I'm going to do it the non-calculator way and with the calculator so that everybody can see it. The non-calculator way is me noticing that this is an equation that's to be written in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept, of course, is y equals mx plus b. M is your slope. B is your y-intercept. Right? So I need to find the slope and I need to find the y-intercept and just plug it in. Let me see. The slope is negative. So m is going to be my slope, negative. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 5 over 2. That's my slope. My y-intercept is negative 2. So putting it all together, y equals m, which is now negative 5 over 2. X plus b means minus 2. So what's that? What's that going to be? What's that going to be? Negative 5 over 2x minus 2. Now, that's one way of doing it. If you have a calculator, then you can use good old LinReg. LinReg says take a stat, take an edit, negative 2, enter, 3, enter. I'm using those points right there. Also 0, enter, negative 2, enter. Second mode quits out. Stat, calc, LinReg, blah 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 blah, enter. And so that gives me y equals ax plus b, or y equals, so let me just over here write out in a different color so you can see it. Y equals negative 2.5x minus 2. So close to the same exact thing. If I want to turn negative 2.5 into a fraction, I'll type that out, negative 2.5 math frac, hit enter, and there's my negative 5 over 2. So that ends up becoming just that. So, you know, if you don't have a calculator, it's faster, but I'm just want to show you both ways. And 14 is much of the same. Y equals mx plus b. My slope is negative once again, so negative up 1, 2, 3, so negative 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 3 over 5. My y-intercept is 0. So you would write out y equals negative 3 over 5x plus 0, but I don't need to write out that plus 0. What a waste of time to do that. And LinReg works for that too. Page 7, complete. Find the slope of a line, says page 8. Good thing I used the red marker to completely confuse me. That's all right, this problem won't take long. Slope is positive. So rise, I start here at this dot, 1, 2, 3, 4. My rise is 4. My run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's it. 4 over 5, baby. This one not as friendly. Cost y in dollars for x pounds. So before I even go further, the cost y in dollars. I'm just going to put the cost in dollars here because y is going to be my cost in dollars. Whenever you see a word problem in a completely blank grid, you just start filling it out. Y is cost in dollars, so I'm going to be specific and say cost in dollars. X is pounds. Is represented by the equation y equals 3.5x. Graph the equation and interpret the slope. All right, looks familiar. So I'm going to make an x and y chart. Now there's many ways that you could do this. If you wanted to run right here and type out 3.5x and hit graph to see what it looks like, I know what it'll look like. If you want to hit second table to get a bunch of points, I could do that too, but oops, don't feel like doing that. I'm going to say 0 pounds to start out, 1 pound, 2 pounds, and let's do 3 and go as far as I can, okay? The equation that I'm using is 3.5x. So I start typing in my x values that I chose. 3.5x, or in this case, 3.5 times 0 is 0, which makes sense. If you buy nothing, you're not going to spend anything. 3.5 times 1 is 3.5. 3.5 times 2 is 7. 3.5 times 3 is 10.5. Now here's the problem. This graph doesn't go out that far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 3 points, so even though this goes out to 8, I'm okay with graphing you, and not worrying about you. Okay, so I will label these points 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll just start graphing these points. 0, 0 lives right there. 1, 3.5. It's never ideal to graph a decimal, but in this case, we will, and it's not bad. There's my 3, there's my 4, so 1, 3.5 is right in the middle of it. And then you have 2, 7. Get a ruler. I'm looking around to see if I have a ruler handy, and I do. So I'm just going to make the best darn picture I can. Perfect, kind of. And, you know, if you're checking your answers in the back, chances are it's going to be slightly different. This is the answer in the back, so that the picture that they give is going to look different because they chose to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They chose to go by 1s here and by 4s here. So it's going to look a bit different than mine, but it works. Whatever numbers you choose, if the points go where they're supposed to according to the numbers you pick, you're fine. Fine indeed. Is that it? Nope. More. 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 Hey, more. Graph 1/2 x minus 3. I'm going to show you how to do this without a calculator, and then I will show you how to do it with a calculator. Without a calculator, I'm going to find out that when y is all by itself, the number in front of x is my slope, so my slope is 1/2, and the y-intercept is the number floating around. When y is all by itself, the number in front of x is my slope, and the number all by itself, in this case not 3, but -3 is my y-intercept. So you always start by placing your dot at the y-intercept at -3. My slope is 1/2, or positive 1/2, or rise 1, run 2, or up 1, right 2. So I'll go up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2. I ran out of room. What's the same as up 1, right 2? Down 1, left 2. There's my line. If you wanted to do this on a calculator, what you would do is you would do pretty much what we did in the last problem. Okay, y equals 1/2, which is parentheses 1 divided by 2, close parentheses in a yellow calculator. X is x, minus 3. Hit second table to get a list of points. I can graph 0, -3. I can graph 2, -2. I don't want to graph the negative or the decimals or anything like that. 6, 0, I don't have space for that. Basically, you're finding the points that you can graph, like -2, -4. Put dots there, draw your line, hit graph to check your work. And I know this graph looks a lot different from that graph, but they're the same thing. They follow the same behaviors, the same pattern. So, done. Not so easy here. Why? Because y is not all by itself. I didn't mean to make that sound all dad jokey, but look at that. It did. So I have to get y all by itself. It's not even close. First off, 4 is in the way, and -2x is in the way. I always need to get rid of -2x, the guy that's floating around first. In this case, you do it by doing the opposite of -2x. Drop down the 4y, 2x plus 12. I'm going to write it out in that order because I want to make it look like slope-intercept form. If I put 12 plus 2x, it won't look like that. And again, these two don't combine because one has an x and the other one doesn't. Y is not all by itself. Divide everything, and everything by 4. Simplify it and keep it improper. 2 over 4 is the same as 1/2. And if you're not sure about that, you always type it in your yellow calculator, like this. Quit. 1, what is it, 2 over 4? 2, I'm just everywhere. Divided by 4. 0.5, math, frac, makes it a half. So 2 over 4x plus 12 divided by 4 is 3. That means my slope in this case is going to be a half. When y is all by itself, the number in front of x is your slope. My y-intercept is +3. So I'm going to go to +3 and put my dot there. Didn't I have a half last time? Look at these guys. Look how similar these guys ended up being. I'm going to go up 1, right 2, boop, or down 1, left 2, boop, down 1, left 2, down 1, left 2. Draw your line. A. This one's easier. Still not as fun as it could be, but easier. I'm going to rewrite the original problem right there. Y is not all by itself because +2x is floating around in the way. -2x minus 2x cross you out. Y equals -4 and -2x. I'm going to write it out in this order, -2x minus 4. Now y is all by itself. When y is all by itself, the number in front of x is my slope. Whenever you're dealing with slope, try to always make it a fraction. So if it's not a fraction, make it a fraction by putting it over 1. And my y-intercept is the number that's floating around, so -4. So you start at -4. My slope is -2 over 1. So I go up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1, ran out of space, down 2, right 1. Draw yourself a line, line, line. Cool. Now am I done? Now am I done? Now I'm done. So congratulations, everybody. You made it through chapter 4. Check your answers. I don't know how long this video will be, but pretty important chapter. I would watch this, I don't know, every night before you go to bed for the next 5 years. Bye.